My cousin illegally stole my entire inheritance, so I made sure she inherited a whole bunch of karma too. My cousin Gertrude was born with a slight cognitive impairment, make her noticeably slower than other kids, and because of this, she's always been the golden grandchild of the family. Whatever Gertrude wanted, Gertrude got. If she threw a tantrum at Christmas because my toy looked better than hers, suddenly it was in her hands, and I was being lectured about sharing. When she struggled in school, the whole family rallied around her, but when I made honor roll, I got a pat on the head and told not to brag. I understood it back then. She needed more help. What I didn't understand was that somewhere along the way, Gertrude figured out how to weaponize everyone's sympathy. By the time we were adults, she'd perfected her act. She'd tilt her head just right when asking for money. She'd stumble over her words when she wanted to avoid responsibility, and suddenly become confused whenever someone questioned her about anything serious. But I'd catch her sometimes when she thought no one was looking. The vacant expression would sharpen. The stumbling voice would steady as she whispered into her phone. The woman who couldn't balance a checkbook was somehow treasurer at her church. When Grandma got sick last year, Gertrude scooped in like a vulture dressed as a dove. "I'll move in to help," she announced at the family meeting, dabbing at fake tears. "It's the least I can do for Grandma." Everyone praised her sacrifice. Meanwhile, I've been driving over every Tuesday for the past 2 years, bringing groceries, managing medications, and keeping Grandma company. But Gertrude moving in meant I was suddenly turned away at the door. "Grandma's resting," she'd say. Too many visitors confuse her. The isolation campaign was surgical. My letters disappeared. The birthday flowers I sent never arrived. Gertrude told relatives I'd stopped visiting, shaking her head sadly about how some people just can't handle illness. But then she started doing something else. She hired Grandma, a lawyer, and started bringing him around frequently. The lawyer happened to be her boyfriend's uncle. Even worse, her high school friend Ashley, who worked at Grandma's bank, started dropping by for social visits too. I watched Grandma's jewelry gradually disappeared from her jewelry box. Family photos vanished from albums. Bank statements stopped coming to the house too. When I tried to talk to other relatives, they'd pat my shoulder and remind me that Gertrude was doing her best, that we needed to be patient with her limitations. 2 days after Grandma died, Gertrude produced a will dated just a month before. The lawyer validated it immediately. I inherited nothing, not even Grandma's photo albums or the quilt she'd made me. Other relatives got token amounts, just enough to keep them from asking questions. Gertrude got basically everything. 3 days after the funeral, she posted Instagram photos from Greece. There she was, champagne glass in hand, designer sunglasses perched on her head. Her caption thanked Grandma for gifting her plane tickets for this holiday. That was when I couldn't ignore my hunch anymore. I hired a forensic document examiner who confirmed what I suspected. The will was forged. When I visited Gertrude for a friendly chat about dividing some family mementos, I found Grandma's real will in Gertrude's desk drawer. She kept it like a trophy. Her laptop browser history, which she'd never cleared because who suspects the impaired cousin, showed searches for elderly relatives' assets and how to forge signatures legally. I found a list of other elderly relatives with their assets detailed. The examiner mentioned getting anonymous threats about dropping the case, but he pressed forward. The Greece photos became crucial evidence when investigators matched the signature practice timeline with the forged will. Ashley, the bank manager's illegal access, got exposed through Gertrude's tagged social media posts. Police arrested Gertrude at her inheritance celebration party. She tried the Confused Act, but nobody was buying it anymore. She was convicted of fraud and elder abuse. The legal fees and restitution consumed everything she'd stolen and then some. Her Instagram went from 10,000 followers to a private account with 12. She sends me birthday cards now for minimum security, asking for commissary money.